Yeah. Hey man, you ever felt unstoppable? That's the team, right? I said, welcome to the new world. Welcome to the new world. Hey, yo, Jai got it.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee with PeePaw. And hopefully you guys are having a great day. And hopefully you've got your coffee ready. You've got your granola bars, your bran muffins, whatever it is that you have to have of a morning to get yourself going. Myself this morning, I'm going to be having a granola bar here in just a little bit. Probably after the stream is over with. But I just got to thinking, I never shared with you my selection of coffee. And I think coffee and what a person drinks, I think is I think it tells a lot about them, right? So my coffee is really simple. Okay, my preferred brand of coffee is Community Coffee. It is a coffee that I discovered when I was living in Louisiana. It is grown there in Louisiana, as roasted, and they actually had one of their roasting plants close by the house where I lived at when I was living there in Louisiana. And many times of a morning, as I was heading out to start my day, whatever, I would have to drive by the roasting plant, and I would smell the aroma of the roasted beans, and it always smelled so just I don't know, just it just smelled good. I just really enjoyed that aroma. I don't know if you can get community coffee where you live, in the area that you live or whatever, but if you can get community coffee and you've never tried community coffee, I highly, highly recommend community coffee. It is very, very good coffee. Banana Grabber, how did I know it was community coffee? Because I'm kind of a snob when it comes to coffee. I don't like pretentious coffee. I just want good quality coffee. While like a place like Starbucks or something like that has okay, decent coffee, I just have a personal qualm about paying, 10 or $15 for a cup of coffee. I think that's just a little bit pretentious, and I'm not saying that I don't do it. I will occasionally do it as I guess a treat, but excuse me, I just can't do it too often. I just can't do it. Okay. My phone's losing its mind. But anyway, the wonderful Purple Paw print sent me another little Christmas meme this morning, and I'm going to share it with you guys because I think it's kind of funny. So it's got a Christmas tree that's or a tree here that says, "Don't you think you're overdressed?" And the Christmas tree says, "Birch, please." And, it's of course it's a birch tree or whatever. But anyway, I just kind of found that humorous. Kind of found that funny. All right, so we went over this last night on the Dead on Dave show, and but I kind of wanted to highlight it here again. There's this little boy. His name is Corey, Kori, and Corey is kind of in a bad way. He's had to have heart replacement surgery, and he the American Make-A-Wish Foundation, or the U.S. Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the UK Make-A-Wish Foundation, both came together to make this young boy's wish come true. And his wish was to have he wanted Captain Jack Sparrow as one of his favorite characters. And not only that, but he also wanted to get enough subscribers to his YouTube channel so he could get a play button. And of course, to be able to do that, you had to have 10,000 subs. Last night, when I first showed this on Dave's stream, I think he was maybe around, it was like 2,000 or 2,500 subs, something like that. And then we played the little segment here, and I'm gonna play it for you as well. And afterwards, Nerdy John was on the call, or was it the stream last night? He said, "Hey," Riv, refresh the screen," which I did, and it had jumped up to about, I think, almost 6,000 subs, something like that, in just a short order of time. Well, of course, it got to trending on Twitter and so forth, and some media outlet stuff picked it up. And now I am glad to say, he's at 10,000 or 10,500 subs, and he will get his play button. And so the young man also is in anyway. I don't know the overall health condition of the young man. I hope he makes it, but with him having to have so many surgeries and stuff, I just don't know. But anyway, let's just listen here a little bit. I'm not going to play the full thing. I'll link the video here in just a second in his. I'll leave it here. I'll link the video here in a minute, chat, and you go check out the young man's channel. And if you haven't subbed, go ahead and sub. I mean, I know he's hit the goal to where he could get, the 10,000 play button, but maybe he could even get on up there to, and get the what is it, the 100,000 one, which is what, gold, I think, or something like that. But anyway, so let's just check it out here.
Right. Then, so, Captain Corey, terrible, I missed out on this, meant to say it, forgot to say it, didn't say it, gonna say it now. Saying it, I'll say it. I hear tell of something they speak about in the ages of now called the YouTube channel, which I don't understand, but why not? And I understand that you're quite the YouTube channel man, or you shall be. And all that YouTubeness to be. So what I'm saying is, I shall be glad to follow your YouTube channel, and I shall tell all my friends to follow your YouTube channel, and that, I think.
Anyway, he goes on. He does a little thing. He hypes up the young man. But anyway, here's the link to the young man's channel, and I'm gonna put it over here in the chat. And you guys, when you get a moment, if you're so inclined, if you haven't, give him a little sub. So I think it's a good. Oh, he's now up to 11,000. So just in the time of me opening up that and getting ready for this morning was at 10,500. He's now up to 11,100, and that's awesome. That is just freaking phenomenal. That that really does just kind of bless my heart. I'll be honest with you, it really does. Anyway, I'm about to move on. I'm gonna get kind of emotional. So anyway, we got some new followers this morning. Well, thank you guys so much for the follows. I appreciate it there. But So I'm kind of, I say, which way do I want to go? I think I'm gonna go this next route. So last night, if you didn't know, if you were underneath a rock somewhere or something, the Now Reporting podcast did their, hopefully it will become an annual thing, but they did their, so I'm gonna present it as such, did their first annual Spurgy Awards. And it went late into the night, and so of course PeePaw couldn't stay up. But what I did do is I had it on while I was laying in bed and getting ready to go to sleep or whatever. I was kind of listening to it, whatever, and I got to listen to, I want to say probably not quite halfway through the show. I got to listen up to the point where they gave away the Spurgiest Podcast Award. And so just real quick, I'm going to go do a little rundown of the awards that was issued and who got them. And then I want to listen to a little segment that I found particularly humorous. But anyway, so the Spurgiest Discord went to the SFTP server. Matt Pitt accepted on behalf of the SFTP team. The creepiest Spurg was Slug. He actually beat out Craig Beckett, which in itself I thought was kind of amazing, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird. But whatever. Best woman was Luna Lizzie. The cringiest Google Doc, of course, went to John Swan, the Cami Doc, particularly. The Spurgiest moment was when Tuff described him having relations with his sister, which was something I evidently slept on and did not know about, and was sitting there going, what the actual hell? But it's a thing, I guess. I don't know. So the Spurgiest podcast went to an upstart podcast. It just started here. I'm going to say probably about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months ago. It has had it's just been like a rocket. It's shot straight to the stratosphere. It has had some iconic moments in its short life so far. It has had some very, very, very memorable moments. But anyway, that podcast is the Keemstar Show. And that's what we're going to listen to, is this little segment here. And Salvo Pancakes, who was there as a presenter, accepted it. And then Salvo, well, as we say here in the South, bless his heart, Salvo was Salvo. And let's just listen to the chaos that ensued. I guess I better bring it up on stream before I do that, right? That's only the right thing to do.
And the winner is Keemstar Show.
Heck yeah.
Spurgiest podcast.
Yeah, and we
Should
actually
we get
have
Salvo
someone
on here to accept on behalf of the
actually
Keemstar
have someone
Show?
to accept. Salvo Pancakes, are you there? Salvo. Good one. All right. Salvo. Salvo.
You can tell this man's Italian, by the way.
Salvo.
Hi.
Hi. Congratulations, Salvo. You won. Keemstar Show won Spurgiest podcast. You being once the co-host of congrats.
So I won an award.
Yeah, you won an award.
I won an award.
Congratulations.
By the way, chat, pancakes in chat right now for Mr. Salvo.
Who were the nominees?
Now recording, Spurg Alert, and Reloaded podcast by Austin No Power.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred if the votes were Keemstar show with Salvo and without Salvo. Without Salvo, that seems like it clearly would win. But thank you. I'll accept on behalf of Brantley, Keemstar, Chris the Narc. It means a lot. I'm used to winning awards. Do we get plaques and ribbons and trophies?
Actually, the trophy is
maybe
an
in a
NFT.
few years.
It's an NFT.
Got some internet points.
And you can make it.
Also,
your-
Salvo, they're
Now-
obviously talking about the Keemstar show when you.
Now, here just directly. So Salvo decides to take off on his own, his little own little, I guess you'd call it spur, his own little pathway, and he kind of starts putting one of the now recording podcast members kind of in the hot seat. I mean, he brings out the little Inquisitor light, like kind of like in the old cartoons where, they'd set somebody down this little bench or this little, seat of some kind. And then they'd bring in this big shining light to kind of, just kind of bear down on them. And that starts happening to Mikey or Mitch, or I'm not for sure which way he goes by, but I see he's in the chat.
Come on, let's be real.
And I see he's hollering, wait.
Yeah, the
I
show
assume-
ended when you left. Like
Right,
now,
you-
I'm assuming he's not wanting us to play this, but we're going to.
it's just Keem and the girlfriend that he.
It was
found
so
on the
much
side
better
of the
when you were
road.
on, honestly.
No, Keem and Brantley do a good show.
Beavers, your clock is so
Now
Yeah,
you
like-
This
now
clock
you
is so
say
far
this.
addicted,
Now you
bro.
say this, Salvo.
What do you mean? I'm playing narratives. I want Diorio fucking off the internet.
Yeah.
Go P Rudy.
All right. So, Salvo, now that you're joining us, I'm gonna DM you the category and nominations so that you can
Cool.
say them. And
I'll see you guys
Hell
later.
yeah.
thank you, Stardust. Thank you so
Stardust.
much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Stardust.
All right. So I've sent
Dirty
it. I've
brown
sent them
bitch.
to you. Whoa.
Hey, you know how we were talking about? You know how we were talking about tit shots last night? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we not sexually harass the person that just left? If you're gonna
Well, I mean,
sexually
we
harass,
can.
What,
sexually harass
did you want us to?
Do it to a face like a man,
do it to her
Beavers.
face like a man.
I'll be in right
Undead
now.
Fox, new member, $5. Just joking around. Beavers is my favorite. Leah something member, 1 month, $4.99.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
But here's the Mr. Girl literally did flash. Like
Yeah.
in backlash.
Okay,
I know,
yes.
But
I
he
thought
did
it was.
flash.
On your mobile, I don't know if you.
Pancakes,
All right,
people.
guys. Presenting Cripple of the Year in 2022 is Salvo Pancakes. This year's nominees for Cripple of the Year are Matt Pitt, the guy
Okay.
who
I think I got-
No.
Yeah,
this
there's
is
some.
definitely.
So there was some thing there. Salvo got him to redo the Cripple of the Year because he said that Matt Pitt and Toxic could not be part of the voting pool because they had to disqualify themselves as being what did he call it? I don't. Well, because it was their show, they couldn't be a part of it. He said they had to disqualify themselves. I wanted to get on into this where he starts.
I would argue that you and Toxic have to be removed, and the
Never done anything that was a conflict.
I agree with that because I don't want Matt to win.
Oh,
really self-centered to even include you guys.
So
I
you
can't
don't
believe
think
that, Matt.
yeah, okay, yeah.
To do a revote.
I'd have voted for PK.
I know
Come
PK
on.
pretended, but what's Clara's? Because Matt Pitt.
Oh wait, that's what?
she's like perpetually doing
Come on.
Wait, hello?
I should have done better on the
Oh,
timestamps,
yeah.
guys. Sorry.
the poll.
I drove.
Who am I replacing?
Okay, so
You're just putting Clara and TK.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, Salvo! I've said this before. You would make a great cop interrogating people because, like, you get information out of people that don't want to give any information, like your stream with John Swan. He didn't want to give you anything about his sex life, but you asked like 100 questions. You got a little piece. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, we knew his entire like schedule of what he does when he has sex. I
Yeah.
commend you for that.
Thank you. So you drove like a long time to go see Eva, right?
Oh my god!
And when you
Cripple
got
of the year,
there,
vote for Clara.
Yeah.
and when you got there, you guys just watched YouTube
so the great thing is he's so what it is Savo is questioning Mitch because I guess Mitch and Eva had they met up, whatever, and I guess this was like during the pandemic, and so they couldn't necessarily. There's a lot of it's not like you go to the movies or whatever, and I don't know. It may have been purely platonic, and there may not have been anything that was romantic there at all. But Savo being the uh, being the person that he is, right? Seen an opportunity to have some fun, and that's what he starts doing. And so he starts, talking about, so he was grilling Mitch about everything, and so and Mitch wasn't wanting to talk about it. He was trying to deflect. He was trying to defer, whatever. But Salvo was like a dog with a bone, man. He just kept coming back to it, right? And so Mitch is like, well, we just watched some YouTube videos, and that's in there somewhere. I'm sure I skipped over whatever. But Salvo comes back to it here, and this is where it starts really getting really funny.
Yeah.
And when you got there, you guys just watch YouTube videos. What kind of YouTube videos did you watch?
I can't even remember.
Okay.
Like, do you remember the YouTube videos you were watching a year ago?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Always yes. The answer is always yes.
So were they like long kind of documentaries where you kind of lose interest a third of the way through, and then you guys shift on the couch and stare at each other until one of you guys make a move?
No, that didn't happen.
Okay. Are they short YouTube videos? So after
I literally don't remember the videos. Oh no, I do. I remember we watched that Moist Critical guy.
Ew.
Okay. So you and Eva, who's in chat right now, you guys watched Moist Critical. How many Moist Critical videos did you think you watched?
I don't know.
Moist, obviously.
She's actually the reason I got into him. I didn't really know him before that, but now I still watch him to this day.
Okay, so Eva got you into Moist Critical. Interesting.
Who won the award? God damn it!
Poor Mitch. I was sitting there laying in bed, and I was watching this, and I was laughing because I thought this is so hilarious. Because they were just, they were just commending Salvo on how he grilled John Swan, right? And so John, not knowing how to handle that interrogation about his sex life, he didn't know what. Some believe that the story that John gave was very fictitious in nature. That involved, I guess, this brand of ice cream called Magnum. Well, the only thing we have here in the States called Magnum is condoms. So I found that kind of apropos that, we're talking about Magnums. But anyway, listen, seriously, go over and check out the now recording stream from last night, the Spurgies. It's over there on Toxic Piplup's channel. And listen, seriously, if you have not subbed to that channel, and you need to be, those guys are putting out a phenomenal product. It's highly, highly entertaining. They're getting better and better with each show. I believe that I firmly, and now that they're doing live streams where, the thing about everything they've done really previously has all been recorded and they can edit it and whatever, right? And so they put out a very polished product, and it kind of allows them to take the slips and the gaffes and the goofs and things like that occurs when you're doing something like this, take it out, and it's nice, neat, polished product. But for me, right, I love a live stream. Because then you really get a better, I think, a better glimpse into the person themselves, right? And so when something like that happens, right? So that brings us up to this next little thing, right? So this happened yesterday, right? PeePaw kind of went a little crazy, and we're going to get into what happened. But a buddy of mine, D-Max, who's a rascal, he's a comical little dude. But anyway, yesterday while we were doing the podcast yesterday, Banana and myself, and see who I was. Chris the Narc was called in, and Matt Pitt called in. Brick calls in during the show. I want to think there was someone else that called in, and I was Ziley called in. But anyway, we had a really good show yesterday. But Matt Pitt calls in, and we're going to get into that here just a second. But it led to PeePaw saying this, and so there was a discussion of what kind of a Pokemon PeePaw would be. And I don't know anything about Pokemon. I never really I tried playing the little mobile one on the phone, where you'd walk around and you'd go to the different little things and you would catch the little Pokemon and you'd go to the little different geographical locations and you'd be the little things there and you'd try to take over it if it was a red or if you were a blue, whatever. I don't know all that stuff. Anyway, I tried that for a little while. It's kind of like an exercise thing, but the problem is here where I live is so rural that it was like miles in between like these little Pokemon center things, whatever. So it wasn't really feasible for me to do. And whereas if I lived in a bigger city, you could walk a few blocks and stuff and get your exercise in, which is what it was intended to do, and help you be more active. But I did do it for a while and it was enjoyable, but I didn't understand it. And anyway, but, so I don't even remember what Pokemon they said this thing was, a Snorlax or so. I don't know. There was a lot of names tossed around, but anyway, my buddy, Max did a little Photoshop, and then there's this clip of what, so anyway, I'm going to just play it, and I hope it doesn't tarnish y'all's views or opinions on me, because PeePaw kind of stuck his foot in his mouth a little bit. His mouth on her nipples, and her poured the liquor down her breast, and him suckle his mouth on her. Yeah. So let's get into where that story come from. Okay. So we were doing the podcast yesterday, and anyway, there was a little bit of a bit that was going on where, Matt Pitt was kind of being picked on or whatever. And Matt Pitt calls into the show. And so Matt Pitt squared that away. And then he said, "Hey, is it okay if I bring up, well, rather than me tell the story, let's just listen to the story."
There's some other drama going on.
No, I want to eat dinner.
Shut up, Banana.
Chris and Ark refused a tit shot.
Yeah, I'm really.
Girlfriend.
Hold on, I'm sorry that I was incredibly fucking baked and drunk.
Now, hang on. Just seconds earlier, I don't know if you guys can see it or if you whatever. Banana was whining. I want to go supper. I'm hungry. Whatever. And then Matt Pitt says tit shot, and Banana perks up, and he's a whole new man. He's all on board. He wants to hear this story. So it just gets, and I'm going to just come right on the record. I'm going to state it here, plain and simple. I think the excuse that Chris the Narc gives in this is cap.
Drunk, and I was not into literally communicating with anybody that night. I was just completely in my own world.
I'm so high, bro. You don't have to communicate with someone to.
Well, no, like I literally was not saying or doing anything. I was.
He was nonverbal.
I was
like an autistic.
Yeah, not even. Literally, I went to full autism mode. I was like, no,
so
I'm not.
Was she like, "Hey, you want to take a shot with my boobs?" And you were like,
I was just like, I don't want it. I'm good. I'm too high. If I do another shot, I'll throw up. That's all I remember from saying.
You're greening out.
Hold on.
Yeah, it was. I was very uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. So as you can see here, this is where I'm trying to get all this in my head. So guys, I put up a poll here. So let's have a little vote, right? So I want to know, do you guys, the chat, think that Chris the Narc is capping on this? Are you buying what his excuse was, right? Is this a deal where is he saying I was too drunk, I was too high, and if I'd taken one more shot, that would have just been it, and that's why I didn't want to do the booby shot. That's his excuse, okay?
Comfortable.
Okay, when you said, what would you call it, a tit shot or boob, whatever
Like
it was?
titty shot. Yeah, it's like a cleavage shot.
I thought you meant like take a picture, like a pit. You're talking about taking an actual. Hang on. So you're telling me she was offering Chris to let him take his nipples, put it on her areola.
Wait, his nipples?
No,
his nipples.
Huh?
My nipples?
No, his mouth on her nipples, and her pour the liquor down her breast, and him suckle.
No, Rip doesn't
liquor.
know what a tit shot is.
No, well, that's a tit shot in like a stripper bar. This tit shot was like she puts it in between her cleavage, and you just like
pull the little shot glass out and drink.
No nipples. Yeah,
Chris,
no nipples.
I like my version
no
better.
offense, but is your proclivities towards men? I'm just asking.
not at all. I was just really hold on. I was just really hold on. I was really
exactly, Nerd John. We got Riveter reacting to Riveter. This is how. Yes, this is how. Yes,
really fucked up, and I was just like, I wasn't into literally anything. Like, not even
Chris,
hanging out anymore.
No,
I wanted to go home.
Chris, I could be dying. I have a shot wound to the chest. And if
Right,
somebody offered,
yeah, I know.
I would still do it. I would crawl over broken glass. I don't care.
How'd you get home, Chris?
Hey, Banana.
I slept for like 3 hours and then drove home.
Okay, I'm gonna one up you, Banana. Okay,
what'd you do?
That is a pretty good analogy of what a man should do, right? I'm
It is, yeah.
I'm gonna one up you. You ready? I am a man who's been married for 26 years. I am 54 years old. And if a woman offered me the opportunity to take a shot glass from between her breasts, this old man's taking that shot glass.
It's all right.
No cap. No cap. I love my wife. I should have went on to say this. I love my wife and everything. And that I probably would catch a good flogging from her for doing it. But nonetheless, I would still do it. No hands, no nothing. I 100% would do it. Let's see how the poll's doing. So we got 10 votes. We got 55% saying no. And so, okay, so you guys think that Chris wasn't lying. He actually, because, if he would have taken one more, or maybe I didn't do the poll right. I don't know. But that's interesting. Well, maybe I guess we'll give benefit of doubt to Chris. I guess we'll believe him that he just had a little bit too much that night. And if he'd have taken one more, then, we would, that would have just been it. So, okay. I stand corrected. PeePaw can admit when, so anyway, that's really all the drama and stuff that I have for you this morning. I was laying in bed this morning as I was, kind of getting awake and whatever. And I was turning through my mind. I have so many stories. And that's one of the things when you've lived as long as I have, you have a ton of stories. And so I was trying to say, okay, what story do I want to share with you guys? And I think I think this is the one I'm gonna share with you. And this one is kind of well, they're all personal. But this one is I guess you would call it this story really kind of is where it's deep rooted, I guess you would say, kind of into my in my psyche. So when I was about see if I can do this here. Okay. Yeah, I can do this. Okay. So in the summer of 70, it'd have been about 77 or so. This is from the fall right before. This was for my this is for my birthday. That's me. That's little Riv. And this was, birthday party, whatever, right? We as a kid growing up where I grew up at, it was extremely rural and was in the foothills of the Ozarks. My parents made very meager wages, and as kids growing up, whatever, we always had everything we needed. Okay, we always had food on the table, and we had clothes on our backs. Most of the time, the clothes on our back were hand-me-downs from older cousins. There just wasn't money for those type of things, and birthdays were typically something like this, which was my mother baking a in the just in a sheet pan or whatever with some icing on it, and one of those little candy birthday kit things, whatever that you could buy, that was hard as rock, would crack your tooth if you wasn't careful. And I don't know if you guys ever have had any of those type of things or not, but anyway, so in the beginning of right before my third grade year, starting third grade in school, my dad got a job with this bigger company with more money, and we had to relocate. And when we relocated into a bigger town, and bigger school district and all that. And when we transferred schools, whatever, I was not a like straight A student or anything, but I had B's, B's and C's, and but I was on level where I needed to be, right, educationally wise and whatever, for where I was at. And so when we moved to this other school district, and I was starting the third grade, I'm not going to say the teacher's name because I don't know, she may still be alive, whatever, and I don't want you guys. I don't think you guys would, but there could be somebody that comes later or whatever and decide to. But anyway, this this teacher was a very mean teacher, and I don't know if you could tell by looking at this picture. I was a very skinny boy, very, very slender. The hand-me-downs and stuff that I would get from my cousins, they were what they're called super slim, like the pants were called super slim, which means they were slender, more slender than normal, and even those were big on me. And you know, I'd have to wear a belt, or sometimes my mom or my grannies would take and put little darts in the side of the pants to make them tighter so they wouldn't just fall off me, because I was an extremely slender kid, really skinny, right? You would have, you know, if I had stayed the way I was, I'd be a beanpole in front of you right now, right? But what happened was, when we moved to this other school district and in the third grade, whatever, this teacher was, she had no mercy in her heart. I Back then they didn't have things where they could, you know, they would test kids. I mean, you would be tested, like, for example, you basically, there was two categories. You either had normal kids, or you had the kids that were, now they call special needs, right? But so I wasn't special needs, but I had some problems. I had a speech impediment. I stuttered a lot, and I know, you know, people sometimes they get a little aggravated with me because it takes me a little bit of time to say or tell a story, and some of that is I'm having to slow my mind down so that I can speak and not stutter. But if you listen to my my speech, you'll still hear me stuttering a lot, right? It's not as bad as it was when I was a kid, but it's still there, right? The other thing is now, knowing what I know, I have some dyslexia too. It's not like a lot of kids unfortunately have these days where it's just crippling, but I do have a case of dyslexia. But that was not something that they diagnosed back then, and they sure as the devil didn't. You know, they didn't do any type of training that they do with kids now, how to overcome those things, right? And so when I got down there, or when we moved, whatever, because I had these problems, and they were, you know, the speech impediment was a known thing, but they really didn't. They didn't have speech therapy that kids would go to like they do now, right? It was just, you were just mocked, you were just ridiculed, and so when they deemed that I was like I was slow, basically. I wasn't, quote, a special needs child, but I was just slow, right? Because it took me a little bit longer to process things. And so this teacher, and I'm biased here, but in my opinion, she never ever missed the opportunity to mock me or make fun of me or embarrass me in some way. She would actually pull me in front of the class and make fun of me. She tormented me. She bullied me, right? Now, I'll be honest with you. For a long time, I hated this woman. I hated what she did to me, because the tormenting, the bullying that she did to me, which then was compounded by my classmates. I became very, I guess you would call it, depressed and stuff. I went from being a very happy, jovial, laughing, extremely slender, skinny kid to a overweight, withdrawn, quiet kid. I got beat up a lot. I got bullied a lot, and my life was extremely, extremely miserable. There were many nights when I would be in bed at night crying, just squalling, and my mom would come in and say, "What's wrong?" And I would beg her to let me move and live with my grandparents, that still lived up there, because I wanted to go back to my old school with my old friends, and I wanted to go back to the life that I had, right? And so all this sounds horrible, right? This all sounds like, these were horrible people. They're not horrible people. Did they do some horrible things? Yes. But they also did some good things. Okay. Now I still suffer. I'm still obese, right? I'm still overweight, and I'm working on that. And it's taken me some time to get some of this stuff in my head squared away. But I did. And what I did, especially in high school and stuff, as I got on through and I got into doing what I do now for a living, I decided that I was going to use that anger, that resentment that I had inside of me, and I was going to turn around and do it for something for good. And that's what motivated me to excel and to become a success. And I was going to show these people that I was not a failure and I was not this idiot that they described me as being or felt like I was. And so when I graduated high school, we moved away from that part of the state of Arkansas and actually moved into Kentucky. Or actually it was Southern Indiana, but I went to school in Kentucky for a while. And that's where I got my degree in electronics. And I went in there and I was like a duck in water and I made straight A's and, and so to try to make a very long story short, when I came back from my 10-year class reunion, I was married and happily so. And I seen all these people around me who had not really changed since high school. And it'd been 10 years, right? And I was successful. I had a successful career. There were several of the girls that I kind of had crushes on and stuff in high school that came up to my wife that night and said, "Hey, your husband really had a crush on me in high school." And my wife, being the as someone said in chat earlier, the badass that she is, just looked at him and said, "Yeah, well, it was your loss. He's mine now." Right. And that made me feel good, that my wife looked at me as a catch. But here's the jewel of this, or this is the gem that I want to give to you guys, right? I know that some of you guys struggle with things, right? And that maybe you've got some demons, right? Or you've got some people that have told you lies, right? And you struggle not to want to believe those lies, right? But I'm going to tell you something. You are who you decide that you are. Okay? Now, you can listen to the lies that people tell you, and you can feel horrible about yourself, and you can allow yourself to lay down and wallow in that misery. Okay? I personally hope you don't. Or you can pick yourself up, and this may mean that you may have to get some help professionally. And if you do, there's no shame in that. And don't ever feel shameful if you have to get some counseling or help dealing with these things, right? Because not everybody can just decide to put that stuff in the past. And just because I could and I did, it doesn't make me a Superman. I'm not. I'm just one of the lucky ones that was able to find a way to pick up all that luggage, right? And metaphorically take it to the Grand Canyon and throw every bit of that luggage into the Grand Canyon to let it disappear, let it go, and just turn it over and get rid of it, right? Because it was the past. The past does not have to determine my future, okay? And that was something I had to learn. I don't hate my former classmates anymore for the torment that I received. I'm actually, in a way, I'm kind of thankful for it, because that torment and the bullying that I received pushed me to excel in life. to go out and to get the degrees and stuff and all the stuff that I did, and and they are partially responsible for me becoming who I am. Right, the biggest person was my wife, who is my cheerleader. Right, she is truly the wind beneath my wings. She is the foundation that holds me centered and steady. But what I would tell you guys is if you can find a way to take all that baggage, all that garbage stuff that people have poured into your life, if you can find a way to metaphorically take it and throw it into the Grand Canyon, or to dump it off into the ocean depths, and just forget about it, never go back, never pick it up, never look at it, nothing, and move forward, do it. Okay? If you have to do it through the help of counseling, do it. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, I don't care who you are, right, deserves to go through life with that kind of cloud hanging over their head. I believe everybody deserves to be happy. I believe everybody deserves to be able to laugh and have fun and have friends. And that's all I want for you guys. And so if a skinny little kid who became an obese, miserable, sad, depressed, stuttering, dyslexic mess can turn it around and become the PeePaw of the internet, then what can you do? So guys, I want you to put on a smile. I want you to have a great day today. And here in just a little bit, my buddy, Nerdy John, is going to be going live over on his channel. And here's a link to that stream. I want you to go check him out. He's entertaining. He's fun. I think he has quite a lineup of stories that he's going to be talking and discussing today. But go over there and hang out with Nerdy John. I know I'm going to be doing it as much as I can as I start my work morning. But listen, I appreciate all of you. I really do. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate all the new subs. I've just had an explosion of subs, and I appreciate you, and I thank you. If this keeps up, we're going to have to do some sort of big special with you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do some sort of a special with you guys. Thank you so much for the explosion of subs as well over on the Clear as Mud podcast that I do with my buddy Banana. We've had just phenomenal growth over there as well, and we're so blessed and thankful for you over there too. Dead on Dave, he's had some just explosion of growth. He's pushing almost 10.2 thousand subscribers. I really believe and see Dave becoming a 50K sub YouTuber, and I honestly don't think it could happen to a better person. Dave is just he's just a great dude, and I love Dave. And I look forward to the day when I get to hang out with him in person. And hopefully that's sooner before later. But anyway, on that note, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up and close it off. I'm gonna send you over to Nerdy John. Make sure, like I said, I put the link to his stream there. Go check him out. Go there and hang out with him. Listen, guys, so go fill up your coffee, grab you some more snacks, whatever you need to do. And have a great day. Just have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow morning and this time I hopefully will put in the right time for the stream. And this is what I get for doing it late at night. But I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, for Coffee with PeePaw. Thank you and have a good day.
I send flames, call my name, I freeze, I burn.